Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday night, my friends, and I am back. And we have some housekeeping to do. Housekeeping. And we're going to finish up Dragon Age the Veilguard. This is, I believe there's like a half an hour left. Made a big push last night to try to get through it, but came up a little bit short right at the end. But it is what it is. I think we're almost definitely going to finish it right now. So that'll be good. And I want to get my thoughts recorded for it. Hopefully, I haven't tested my new setup with both streaming and recording at the same exact time, so let's see how this works. I've recorded things without streaming, but I haven't, and I've streamed without recording, but I haven't done both. So let's see how things happen here. Yeah, I have some thoughts. I've tried to gather them a little bit as I've been going through here. But it's I have some, I guess, more final thoughts about things going on. Also, I've decided that I need some alcohol to make it through the last part of this game. So I am going to crack open a beer I've never had before. This is apparently a Thai beer. If I can get it open without, killing myself here. Here we go. So I have no idea what this is going to taste like at all. It's called Sengha. It, I don't know. It smells bitter. Like it looked like an IPA, but it kind of smells like a more bitter beer. So I guess we'll see how this holds up. It's definitely bitter. It's not, I was kind of expecting an IPA, but it's not an IPA. It's a little bit closer to a lager. Excuse me. Woof. Doesn't help that I'm sneezing at the same time. Yeah, it's like a little bit, it tastes a little bit closer to a lager. Actually, a little bit closer to like a regular beer. So that's interesting. That's different. All right. Not terrible. Not blowing my skirt up either. So we'll see what we see here. But I've got it in my insulated container, so it should stay relatively cool during this. All right. So we're right towards the end here. Let's get this show on the road as we can.
Elgernon and the Venatori have destroyed my city. This is our final chance to take it back.
Even gods may die.
We have every confidence in your plan.
All right. What do you have to say?
Those who fell in our fight lie in the next room. They will be taken to grave or pyre once our battle has ended, as their beliefs dictate. For now, they wait, and we attend them. If you wish to pay your respects, please enter.
Sure, why not? Let's F to pay respects. I mean, given the scope of the battle we just got ourselves into, that's not that bad. I mean, in the grander scheme of things, it's not that bad. There were going to be people who died. That was going to happen. But, I mean, I'm counting maybe a dozen, maybe 20 in there. You know, that's, it's as terrible as it is to say, that's not bad. Could have been far, far worse, considering the stakes.
Your dance is...
Rook, the Venatori brought death to Minrathus. We've made many of them pay.
Yeah.
But they still...
Fighting through a city run by Venatori. It's what Treviso could have been, but worse. Was that suitably self-absorbed? Go.
Hate to admit it, but Solus really came through for us. Now it's just Elganon we have to deal with. Good luck.
We'll keep watch on the city down here.
We got here. One final loot chest. Ooh. There's our longbow. Is that better than... Nope. Gotta level up a longbow that I don't even use. Wonderful. You would think, being it's the final push, they would just give you whatever longbow you have equipped as the upgrade there. It's not like they couldn't figure out what you had.
I told the Shadow Dragons I'd help scout routes to other safe houses.
The Archdemon will fall. Rook, it's been a hard fight to get here.
And against stranger foes than we imagined.
It's almost the end now.
We have this, Rook. I know it.
Of course we have this. Of course we do. I wonder if they're going to give me like they're giving me materials at the very end here, and I'm like, I wonder if they're going to give me oh yeah, here we go, workshop. I was going to say
Strength earns mastery.
upgrade. Still can't upgrade this, huh? Oh, this item is fully upgraded. Oh, okay, I see. Huh. Oh yeah, I don't see. It's epic, but it's not legendary. So you can't upgrade that way to make it legendary. Yeah. All right. Sure. Whatever. Everyone's gathered around.
He was in my head the whole time. It was like I wanted to help him.
Oh, Belle. I'm sorry.
He's filled with the blight, and I think I am too. Rook.
Oh, I still have hope.
You're not dead yet, and as long as you're still alive, there's hope. For now, hang on. We'll see if there's a way for the Wardens to help you once Elgranon is dead.
No, you can't. That's what I needed to tell you. When Elgranon was in my mind, I was kind of in his too. I could feel him. His mind, his magic, his life force. It's tied to the Veil. His life is the only thing holding the Veil in place.
I felt the Veil weaken when Gillenane fell. I expect that when Solus imprisoned the other gods, he bound them all thus. And now that Elganon is the only one left...
If we kill him, the Veil collapses.
Which is why Solus gave me the dagger.
Let's fix this.
Sounds like we need a new plan. We still have to kill Elganon. So what can we do? Can we tie the veil to something else to keep it in place?
For an enchantment like that, we'll need a specific substitute. The veil was made to be tied to the ancient elven gods.
Then let's tie it to Solus. He's the only elven god left.
Binding him will require drawing his blood with a lyrium dagger.
And I doubt he's going to like the idea.
Is that the only way?
Cutting him to bind him to the veil. That's blood magic. We do it if we have to, but only if we have to. What about this?
The dagger we made while you were trapped in the Fade.
Once Elgranon is dead, odds are good that Solus will need to do something else to complete his ritual. This dagger looks identical, but it can't cut through enchantments like the real thing. So if he tries to use it...
The backlash of such magic would render him helpless.
Unless he notices. You really want to try a bait and switch on the Dreadwolf?
Is there any chance at all, that he would listen to reason?
Speaking from the heart, Inquisitor?
Varric tried to reason with him, and he died for it.
As did Mythal when Solus took her power.
But we have you, Morrigan. You have Mythal's memories. And we have the essence of the other fragment of Mythal from the Crossroads.
Such power, even fragmented, is not to be taken lightly. Hold it for now, and when the time comes, if you believe the Dreadwolf's heart can be turned from this course, I shall try.
Got options.
All right. We can deal with Solus when the time comes, but we still need to stop Elgranon first. He's in the palace above us. We'll climb the Blight Tendril to get there. Once Solus takes down the Archdemon and renders Elgranon mortal, we hit him with everything we've got.
Damn right we do.
Time's running short. Stock up on supplies, pay your respects, and say goodbye to the people you love. Be ready to go when I signal.
You've got this.
Lucanus, everything all right?
We have made it here and fared well in the fight. Now we only have to wait. But Spike grows impatient. As do I. This may be the calm before a final storm, but I don't feel it.
I'm on edge myself, so I couldn't expect anyone here not to be.
Perhaps.
It won't be much longer.
Elgranon's life is measured in hours. As for Solus, it's been asked if he can see reason. Solus has proven his word cannot be trusted. Why give him the chance to prove it again? But then, I gave that chance to Ilario. Is there hope for him, or was I foolish to think so? Whatever happens, my contract was for the blighted gods. Today it is fulfilled.
When I went to the Crows, I asked for their best. And we got them.
The demon of Virantium. I had a reputation to maintain. Rook, I owe you my life. When I left the ossuary, I knew I could not be the same. What I've managed to reclaim, what I can make of moving forward, I'm in your debt for it. And now, the god dies. We finish a contract. Keep a promise. Spite and I are in agreement. You have a pair of demons at your service.
All right.
Oh, it is purest relief to see us all gathered safe and sound. We reunited with Balara. What that poor girl has been through, and she still returned to the fray. Elganon must fear what we might accomplish once we storm his tower.
We can do it.
We've already killed an archdemon.
Hey, hello, welcome on in.
We can do it again.
While Elganon's magic is fearsome, Solus is our true adversary. He is, however, a former spirit. As such, Solus cannot help but listen to appeals to his nature, his yearning for reflection.
I could try talking him down. once I find him.
The spirits whisper. One way or another, I believe the dread wolf's tale draws to its conclusion. You have been a dear companion, Rook. You accompanied me through death, and were the first to witness my return. I shall never forget that, through the ages that follow.
What luck that the distinguished Professor Volcaran joined our cause after we found him in the necropolis.
Feels as if that were years ago. Time passes swiftly in good company. Onwards, Rook. The gods await.
All right. I'm not going to talk to Tosh. Let's just, I don't care what she has to say. Let's go and move this along as the audio starts bugging out again. Balara, I do want to talk to, though.
How are you feeling, Balara?
Everyone filled me in and told me about everything that happened since I've been gone. It's a lot. I knew Elgranon was doing something. I could feel it through the blight. I just didn't know how big it was. How awful it was. But most everyone's still alive. Still fighting. That's more than I could have hoped for. More than I expected. So, okay, I think.
Okay is good.
Look, at this point, I'll take okay. Could be a lot worse.
Given everything we faced, okay is better than okay.
And the blight? How's it feeling?
Like it's tying itself around me. It's in my blood, in my head. I feel it whispering to me. But it doesn't get to decide how my story goes. Even if it's only got a few chapters left. Let's make the most of each one of them. And give it the happiest ending we can manage.
It's up to us.
Best way to a happy ending is to fight for it. And that's why we're here. For the fight.
It may be our last one. So let's make it worth our while. Rook, thank you.
For what?
For helping me put the ghosts of the past to rest. Now let's go kill a god.
All right, let's go.
A word, Rook?
Yep.
Any last advice from Mythal?
'Tis a difficult battle you face, but you are among more allies than you know. You have purified the crossroads, uncovered ancient truths lost for ages, and earned the essence of Mythal. You are truly the champion of the Fade.
No problem, Ella. No problem
Should
whatsoever.
your fight against Elganon grow desperate, invoke the memories of the Dread Wolf's rebels. For you, they will stand against tyranny one last time.
Phalasian's Rune. The power of Phalasian's Rune is based on how much of the god's influence you drove back in the crossroads. Equip it at the character screen and use V to activate. This rune can only be used against Elgranon. Okay. +1 maximum potions, bleeding duration. Health. Let's do bleeding duration and swap that onto there. Now let's see if I remember to actually use it. That'll be a thing. Because I barely use the runes as it is. Well, time to go. Let's do it. Dreadwolf rises. Let's take another swig of alcohol here. I feel like I'll need it.
Bad news, everyone. Elganon's forces are gathering outside.
They mean to prevent you from reaching their master.
Our people will set up barricades, and we'll hold the enemy as long as we can. You need to start climbing.
Let one of us help.
I'm going up there. I owe Elgranon for what he did.
You go to face a guard, Rook, but any aid you might spare would be welcomed.
Companions who have experience fighting in frontline combat or sieges have a better chance to succeed, especially if they're a hero of the Veilguard. Tosh.
Tosh, you up for it?
Yup. We'll be cheering for you, Rook. All my best.
Okay, let's do Lucanus and Emmerich. And the heroes climbed the giant booger. I mean, I'll give it to them. The cutscenes are pretty epic. They spent some time on them, certainly. Though I would say the direction maybe isn't... Well, the direction isn't Blizzard level, let's put it that way. I know it's not Blizzard that did this, but like... They could have used someone with an eye towards cinematography to do some other direction with the cutscenes, I think. They're definitely old school, like, game cutscenes and not necessarily the more modern ones we're used to.
It's okay. There's got to be another way up.
Well, they had to find a way for us to get separated. So we're not fighting next to everybody, just the ones we selected. Sure. Oh, it's automatically equipped. Cool. All right. Only works against Elgranon now. Damn, Lucanus. Jump on in there.
safe, and our friends below repelling the counterattack.
They're doing their jobs. We need to focus on reaching the throne room.
Alright. That healing pot. It's literally upgrading everything that I'm not equipped. That I haven't equipped. Except for the one bow that I have equipped.
Solus knows that as well as we do. He might betray us after, but he'll do whatever it takes to stop Elgranon.
This freaking guy up here with his tongue, I hate it so much. Alright. There we go. Oh, we're all healed. Okay. That works.
Look out!
Have a nice fall. Okay.
Never did thank you for the wine. Don't do that. It's bad luck.
Thanks? Or bad luck?
Putting your affairs in order. The job's not done until it's done.
Alright, that's the way we're supposed to go. It's over here. Health pots. Okay. Alright.
Do be careful!
Literally every bow I am not using is getting upgraded to legendary. God damn it. Oh man, it's like there can't be that many more things that haven't upgraded to legendary yet that are in my inventory, and yet it's finding every single one that I don't have equipped.
The throne room. Knowing Elgranon, we'll find him there.
Rook!
You made it!
Elgranon's using the Magisters to control the Blight, just like he used me. They're directing all of it at Solus. He won't make it without our help.
How do you know?
I can still feel it. Hear it.
The Blight?
I'll help Solus. Just get to the throne room.
Oop, got a big guy here. Ooh. Over there. Ouch. Oh, there. Damn. Some help from my team would be really great. Holy hell, there's so many freaking ogres here. Double teamed. Whoa. I'm getting a chance to... Alright guys, like, could you please, for love of all that is holy, like, take one of these guys out instead of the little mobs? Jesus. Taking out all the little mobs and you're meanwhile getting destroyed by these biggins. Yeah, look how stupid the AI is in this game. It's like your companions are going after like the smallest things around, and it's like meantime you got all these ginormous things here, and they're completely ignoring them. Oh my god. down finally.
Throne room's just ahead.
Jeez Louise.
Absolutely.
You got us here, Rook. Now give me a target so we can finish this.
Soulless.
I got this. Go!
Such arrogance, thinking you can hide from your creator. And I am this world's creator. Every pointed spire and warding enchantment in this city is a child's unwitting imitation of the empire I built. I would have restored the glory. Your lives are too brief to remember.
I saw Demeter's Crossing and Weishaupt, and everywhere else you've left your mark. I didn't see any glory. All I saw was a tyrant destroying everything he touches.
You mistake discipline for cruelty, a failing among those who lack a master's gentle guidance. We only destroyed because you resisted. In the new empire, every child would have blossomed under my protection. And Gillenane, my brilliant sister, would have forged the Blight into a tool of beauty. But she is dead. And all we have is this. Because of you.
Alright, let's use this thing.
This entire world is my domain. Nothing you do matters.
Let's get a combo going.
While my dragon thrall lives, I am invulnerable. Yet still you fight. Pathetic.
Oop. Okay.
and then we killed Gillenane.
You have nothing. No army, no dragon, no thralls.
I've got a team, and that's all I need.
I have bound the souls of dragons. I have slain titans and broken the will of gods.
You haven't broken me.
Okay.
Oh, come now. You did as well as anyone could have, but you cannot deny the truth.
Yeah, the audio pop is just terrible in this game.
I can do this. I have to.
It's like they blew out all the audio somehow. Looks like somebody's mortal again.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
If you will not bow, you will burn.
Now let's hit this V again as soon as I get a chance. And let's do the combo opportunity.
Your recalcitrance has doomed every pathetic creature in existence.
Oh, I think I missed him.
I will share the last glimmer of defiance from this wretched world. And from the ashes shall rise a blighted empire bound to me alone.
I can't even, half the time I can't even see the dude. There's so much crap going on. Blah, 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 blah. Take another combo.
Perfected intention. I am creator and destroyer. I am will made manifest. I am Algernon.
Almost dead. 2%. Suck it.
It is done. The world owes you a debt, both for defeating Elganon
And for not popping our ears
and for
anymore.
bringing down the Veil.
Oh. Also the veil.
I'm sorry for this final betrayal, but I will do what I can to minimize the damage. When you see the old world restored, please, Rook. I do not wish to fight against you.
Fight Solus and bind him to the veil. Use Mythal's essence and convince Solus to stop.
I don't want to fight you either. But I don't want to see the world go through even more pain on top of what Elganon has done. Do you?
This world is broken, Rook, because of my mistakes.
Do this the right way. This won't help anyone. You're trapped in regret.
This is why you had to use me to escape the prison. It's made from regrets, and you're trapped in yours.
You cannot understand that
destroying everything won't erase your mistakes. You have a chance right now to save the world. Bind yourself to the veil and stop it from falling.
I cannot. To stop now would dishonor those I have wronged to come this far.
Even if those you wronged asked you to stop?
Venan.
You think you've gone too far to come back? But you're wrong. I am here, walking the Dinan Sharal with you.
I lied. I betrayed you.
I forgive you. All you have to do is stop.
Irabolas, Venan. But I cannot. Long before we met, I failed my oldest friend. She died for that failure. If I leave the veil in place, I am destroying the world she wanted. And I will have... She will have died for nothing.
And whose fault is that, Dreadwolf?
Morrigan.
One appellation among many I wear. I have been advisor to Orlais, Witch of the Wilds, daughter of Flemeth. And once, long ago, an old friend.
Mythal lives on in her, and in this.
I pulled you from the fade you loved and sent you into war. I used your wisdom as a weapon. And it broke you.
The things that I have done
are not for you alone to bear, my friend. The many wrongs we did together. I release you from my service.
Banal nadas, arlathma vena.
My life force now sustains the veil. With every breath I take, I will protect the innocent from my past failures. The Titan's dreams are mad from their imprisonment. I cannot kill the Blight, but I can help to soothe its anger. I will go and seek atonement. Thanks to you, I now can see the way.
With Elgar'nan and Gillenane dead, and Solus off to fix his mistakes and right an ancient wrong, it looked like one of the biggest stories this world had ever seen was finally drawing to a close.
The story of the Veilguard, a team of heroes who stood strong against evil, no matter the cost.
Whatever it takes.
But whenever one story ends, another begins.
Like the story of the Grey Wardens, clearing the remains of the Blight so that the flowers can grow again.
Or the story of Arkandorian Parvus, fighting to bring Minrathous out from under Venatori rule.
Was
the story of a caretaker standing watch for new heroes.
For the Antivan Crows, it would be a story of liberation from invaders and usurpers alike, as Treviso threw off its shackles.
Among the Veil Jumpers, the fall of the last elven gods meant Arlethan was reborn.
At their heart, stories are about change.
A man exploring worlds beyond mortal existence.
A woman protecting Docktown at all costs against an unknown future.
An assassin and a demon setting aside the past for the sake of family.
A student of history, helping the elves regain what they lost.
A dragon hunter forging a new life for themselves.
Or the Griffins, finding a new home in Arlethan, protecting a world that once thought them lost for good.
And we will always be grateful to those whose stories brought us where we are today. And those whose stories will live on with us forever.
All right. That was Dragon Age of Veilguard. Let's see if I can record at the same time I'm streaming here. Let's try this and see what happens. Okay. So far, so good. All right. Well, oh, nope, encoding overloaded. Let's not do that. Never mind. All right, I'll just have to pull it off the live stream then. Cool. All right. I need to test that. So that, my friends, has been Dragon Age the Veilguard. And I have some thoughts. It is the first Dragon Age game I've played. I've heard that Origins is one of the more well-respected ones. Inquisition's kind of up in the air. Dragon Age 1 and 2 kind of up in the air. I do intend at some point to visit some of those. I've never played any of them. So coming into the game, I didn't have any preconceived notions about what I was encountering here. And I gotta say, it's how can I put this? It feels less like a RPG than it does just an adventure game, honestly. It definitely has RPG elements in it. There's a skill tree. There's a couple skill trees. There's some so there's XP gained, and there's lore abound, and different equipment and whatnot. But the way that they've set up the equipment, the way they've done the moment-to-moment gameplay, it really doesn't feel like a RPG to my sensibilities. It just feels more like like I said, an adventure game where it's just like, because none of the equipment seems to really matter all that much. None of the skills are really that awesome or great. And granted, I was playing on easy mode. I was doing that mostly because I heard, and this seems to hold up, that the harder modes were not very challenging. They were just more annoying than challenging. In other words, all they really did was make everything into bullet sponges, which is not really, it really isn't fun. And given what I've played through as far as the easy mode is concerned, I could see where that would be a real issue. Like, they loved having boss encounters where it was the 1/3 rule, right? It was like you get them down to 1/3 of their life, they go off, and then you have to sit there and wait while they spawn some ads for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then they come back, and then you get them another third of the way down, then they go off the battlefield where you can't, they're invulnerable, and then you have to wait again, and it's just like, I could see how their idea of difficulty was just making you just impatient and annoyed. And that's kind of not, I've seen that a lot in the newer games, and I wish we would get back to the older style of just like actually spending some time on making encounters difficult but fair and making them fun. Here's the thing. Again, this is my first Dragon Age game, but if I look at D&D, for instance, Dungeons and Dragons, right? Anyone thinking about Dungeons and Dragons would think, oh yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of dungeons in there, and there are, but D&D really holds back on the dragons part of it. You don't really see dragons that often. When you do, they're really unique and they're really difficult, right? And that's good, because it means that they have to rely on, they have to use them sparingly, and they have to make them meaningful, make those encounters meaningful. In Dragon Age here, it's like every other, like literally 90% of the boss encounters were some form of dragon. And what's worse about that is it was a copy-paste dragon. Like literally every dragon had the same moveset. There was occasionally one that would throw a little wrench in the works, but up to that point, they were always doing the same moveset. Breathe fire, you go up and hit them in the legs, and then they turn red, and you got to dodge while they kick their legs, and it's just over and over and over again. It was just different colors. They basically just reskin the same dragon thing over and over and over again. And all the encounters they were all 1/3 encounters, so you get down to 66% life, and then they go off for 2 minutes, and then another 33% life, and then they go off for 2 minutes, and it's just like it got to be very one note and very ponderous as far as those encounters go. The combat itself was, it felt very, it didn't flow very well. It felt kind of stilted. There is no, in theory you could be a range character, but in practice it was so annoying to use the bow that you ended up just having to be a melee character. You probably could have been a mage-like character too, maybe, but again, you're not going to be a mage from range. You're going to be up in the face of the enemy, and it's just like, that doesn't feel right. It feels like there was just one way to play the game, and that was it. And sword and board was pretty much the way to go. And beyond that, though, the art is beautiful. It's a very beautiful game. The gameplay was passable. It was not fantastic. It was not great. It wore its welcome out pretty quickly. The quests were strange. Like, we're used to certain types of quests in RPGs. A lot of the quests in this game were what I would consider to be story beats, right? Like, you literally go off and talk to somebody, and then that's it. There was no combat. There was no, like, fetch something or anything like that. It was just literally just talk to somebody, and then it's done. It just dropped you off. It's like, all right, well, go pick something else from your journal. It's like, that gets kind of weird after a while. I mean, I get it from a story perspective, but the problem is, and we'll get to this in a second, the story sucks. Through and through. It just is terrible. But so some of that felt weird. The traversal of the world was in many ways annoying because it's not open world in any stretch of the imagination. It's very linear. It's very corridor based. And so you revisit areas way too often, like just constantly revisiting areas. Some of the puzzles are interesting, but a lot of them are just annoy you because you can see on your map that there's a chest there, but you can't unlock that area. Like the area isn't unlockable. It's just something that happens if you do a bunch of side quests, and then suddenly the area is available to you. And it's just kind of, it ends up annoying you more than being intuitive, because you see that thing on your map, you can't collect it, and you don't know why you can't collect it. And then eventually it comes around to it. So it just kind of, it throws you off quite a bit. There's also, and I'm not the only one that's experienced this, I looked on forums, I looked on the Steam forums and everything else. The audio in this game blows itself out very quickly. It pops, and it makes it's just crackly and terrible, and then it's fine. And then it's crackly and terrible, and then it's fine, and then it's crackly and terrible. I don't know why it's doing that. This is the only game I've owned on this computer that has ever done that. I'm not the only one experiencing it. To date, they have not fixed it. They have not even acknowledged that it's a bug, which tells me they have no idea why it's happening, or don't believe that it's happening. And it's pretty terrible, because it's like a combination of things. It's not only is it audio popping and blowing out, but the voiceovers actually slow down. So it's almost like it's not only is it popping and crackling, but it's also playing their voices at like maybe 90% speed. So they kind of slow down. They kind of sound like, we're going on to this other, it's terrible. And I'm honestly surprised, with all the work that looks like they've put into this, that they would just not do anything about that audio, and that they would have this audio problem and not realize that they have it. Technologically, we got to talk about some shader things here. This is the only game to date where you start up the game and you have to sit there for 2 minutes every time you start up the game, while it validates shaders. And God help you if it decides that it needs to recompile its shaders, because you're going to be sitting there for 10 minutes while it does it. That is unacceptable and terrible, and a big failure. Being a developer myself, being a coder myself, like, that's a failure through and through to do that, especially given that no other game out there right now has that same problem. So, that's just bad, quality of life through and through. Terrible. So let's get to the story, because this is the big thing that has pissed me off the most about this game. Not really pissed me off, but has disappointed me the most about this game. As I was initially going through the game, the dialogue itself felt to me like the dialogue you would hear in like an after-school special, or, a very special episode of like a sitcom from back in the day, or something like that. It felt very preachy. It felt very dumbed down, and very just amateurish. It wasn't until I got towards the end of the second act, when all the companion storylines started wrapping up in their own side quests, that I realized what I think is the big problem with the story. And that is, I think, and I don't have, it feels like, is what I should say. This feels like they went on to some Dragon Age fan fiction forums, and they gathered up a whole bunch of short stories that fans had submitted and just kind of shoved them all together and maybe tweaked them a little bit, tweaked some of the names and stuff, and then just kind of ran with it. Because that's what it reads like. It reads like fan fiction. It reads like not good fan fiction, bad fan fiction. Like the type of fan fiction where it's like, you know, shipping and stuff, where it's like you go out, you set out to have one thing happen. You want Commander Shepard and Garius Volkaren to get it on, and you work backwards from there. Everything else is just flavor text, right? It's like, we got to put them in a situation that causes them to get their freak on, right? And that's exactly what this reads and feels like throughout the game, is that all they wanted to do was have some endpoint in mind, some message, and then everything else just kind of, you know, they didn't want to spend the time to build up the characters to make that message impactful. They just kind of wanted to get to the message as quickly and as efficiently as they could. And that is, I think that sort of wraps up tightly what I feel about the story, is that they have these character endings and these endpoints that they get to, but they don't earn them, right? They don't do the setup. They don't do the narrative building to make it happen. And they actually out themselves that this is true, because one of the things it does, anyone who's familiar with a Telltale game, you know about the little message whenever you would go through a Telltale game and be like, this character will remember that, you know. Well, Dragon Age does it the worst way possible. It will actually pop up a little message on the side when you select an option and tell you why a character is talking the way they are, right? And I don't want to give any spoilers out, but basically it's saying they understood. I think someone went, you know, on a final pass of the game and went, you know what? None of our players are going to understand why this character is talking this way or behaving this way. So, because we didn't earn that, we didn't make it very clear in our writing why they're doing this, or why, you know, this option is available because the character chose something earlier, or you chose some dialogue earlier, but we didn't make it obvious enough. Like, you know, we didn't earn this end game, right? So we got to tell you exactly why this happened, because it's not, you would never understand otherwise. And it's true. It's true. A lot of these things, a lot of these characters end up acting in ways that are completely nonsensical. And then that little text will pop up and you go, oh, so they're saying that because I chose something 10 hours ago that seems completely unrelated and there was no build up to it. Okay. And that's, I mean, that's the most damning thing for the story of this game, is that they literally had to call out things that they couldn't write because they weren't talented enough to write them. And it's just insane. Absolutely insane. And the main story was stretched out, and the dialogue was repetitive, so repetitive. You know, I can't tell you how many times they're like, we need to kill this character, kill that character, you know, we need to kill this big bad, we need to kill this big bad. It's like, I know. You've said it for the 90th time. I know. You know, it's like just repeatedly saying the same things over and over and over again. And it's just the dialogue options, most of them suffer from sort of they suffer from modernization, right? Where it's like you you pick something that you think sounds one way, they end up saying something completely different, and it doesn't matter anyway, because the next option you pick, the character you're talking to will just repeat everything you just said already, because none of the options build upon one another, except where they do. And then it doesn't make any sense that they do. It's just, it's crazy. It'll drive you absolutely nutty and insane. And yeah, like I said, it reads like bad fan fiction. Bad shipping fan fiction is what it reads like. And that kind of sucks, because an RPG lives and dies on its story, you know. It really does. And I think that kind of is the other nail in the coffin as to why I hesitate to call this an RPG. And I call it more of an adventure game than anything else, because it did not earn being called an RPG based on the hours I've put into it. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at, my friends. Would I recommend Dragon Age: The Veilguard? No, I wouldn't. There's far too many failures in this game that if you want story, you're not going to get story. If you want action combat, it's barely that. You know, if you like to be frustrated and have characters that say nonsensical things over and over again, maybe it's your game. I don't know. If you want to have audio issues that no other game has, if you want to sit for 20 minutes while it validates shaders every time you start it up, then maybe you want this game. I don't know. I cannot recommend. I just can't, based on what I've played, on finishing the game and everything else. So that's where we're at. Oh, one other thing about the story, and I found this out after I'd already made the decision. I looked at a walkthrough the other day. Towards the end, they pull like a Mass Effect 2 thing where it's like, you gotta choose characters to go off on, you know, side quests during the end quests, and you make sure you gotta make sure you pick the right character, or they might get killed, or they might not succeed correctly. I found out that one of the characters, we'll just call it out. So there was one section where you could choose between Nev or Balara to dispel a ward, and those were the only two choices you had. Dispel a magical ward, right? So you would think, since the game gave you those two choices, that those two characters would be really good at dispelling wards. And you'd be 50% right, because later on, you're given another choice where, you know, one of those characters is no longer available, and you're given another choice that says, like, you know, we need someone to stay by and dispel a magical ward. And so you think, well, the game said that Nev is good at dispelling a magical ward earlier, so I'll choose Nev for this. And you would be wrong. Because apparently, you're supposed to choose Emmerich, who, up to that point, has never dispelled a magical ward in the entire game. He's a necromancer, right? He works with the dead. Why would he be dispelling magical wards when you've got two other characters who have previously dispelled magical wards? And neither of those were the correct answer. I don't know. But that just shows you the inconsistencies and the madness that is the story, if you call it that, of this game. So that is where we stand, my friends. So that is it for me for Dragon Age of Veilguard. Thank you for my thoughts on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next thoughts video. All right, friends. Game is completed. So I am going to, let's get some music here. I'm going to switch over to some Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. But I need to switch my categories, and I need to start a new video on the YouTubes, a new stream on the YouTubes. So for those watching the stream on YouTube right now, I'd very much appreciate it if you dropped a like or a subscribe. That would be super swell. And the stream is going to go offline, or this particular stream is going to go offline, and I'm going to start up immediately in a minute or two, with a new stream under the Indiana Jones title. So hang tight, my friends, hang tight.